We're crossing back and forth across the line of negative and positive here for a few minutes to demonstrate something to you. I've discovered many times people use their power of fascination negatively, and some people are fascinated by poverty. And especially religious people are fascinated by poverty. So much so that some religious people even take a vow of poverty. Some religious people think that poverty pleases God. And some of you, without formally taking the vow of poverty, you've taken it in your heart anyway. You're fascinated by it. And this is something here again that the people have to watch out for, being fascinated with poverty. It got just a little bit too cliche for me. It became just a little bit too popular for me to have all people running around shouting out proudly, "We are poor people." So what the hell? As if poverty in itself was a badge of honor. This is definitely using the power of fascination in a negative way. And if you are proud of poverty, you're going to have more of it to be proud of. But then when you're proud of your poverty, don't complain and blame other people because you are poor. I don't like this insinuation that perhaps being a minority is synonymous with being poor. I don't want the message to get through to our young people that just because you are a minority, this means that you must be poor. And that's the stuff you gotta watch. Wasn't in church, I'd say it differently. Because that's what it is. The saints don't know what I'm talking about. When they get outside, whisper and tell them. Be careful about the kind of ideas that you are fascinated by. That's why I could never get with any kind of poor people's movement. The laws of life are psychological. And the only way that you can change sociological conditions is by, first of all, changing psychological conditions. It gets back to the Bible, and I'm still in it, even though you never heard it like this before. It gets right back to what the Bible says. Be you transformed by the renewing of your mind. Social change can come about only by mind change. Say that with me. Social change can come about only by mind change. And it gets right back to that basic old gospel. You must be born again. You must be born out of the poverty idea into the idea of prosperity. You must be born again out of the idea of failure into the idea of success. You must be born again out of the idea of mediocrity into the idea of greatness. And nothing else is going to help until we change our psychology. Again, be careful about the ideas that fascinate you. Beware of using your power of fascination negatively. Some people are fascinated by sickness. I've found this out in my healing ministry. Some people are just absolutely positively fascinated with their sickness, and they love to talk about it. It's easy to tell. They just love to think about it, and they describe their pains and maladies so vividly that if you aren't careful, you will pick them up on the spot. And if you don't care to listen to their complaining, they're insulted because they're fascinated with their illness. And do you know this, good people? As long as you're fascinated with sickness, you're going to have more of it to be fascinated with. And it amused me also when I'd have these large healing meetings all over the country. Some of the things that people would come up with. I can remember at the Miami Beach Convention Center once, as I walked through the congregation before the meeting, as I did today, there was a gentleman there, I guess he was in his upper 60s, young fella, and he said to me, "Oh, Reverend Ike, I've got arthritis and neuritis." I said, I don't know why you call it arthritis. You ought to call it arthrongus. And he began just to describe all of the excruciating, juicy details of his suffering. I could tell he was really enjoying that. I said, well, why would you have all of that? And so he said, well, you know, I'm at the age now where I'm due to have these things. I felt like asking him, well, why in the hell did you come here for me to pray it off of you? You see, Jesus, being a master practitioner of mind science, he understood people's minds. And he knew that everybody didn't want to be healed. That's why he asked the man laying there on his bed for 38 years by the healing water, do you want to be well? All of the sick don't want to be well. All the poor don't want to get out of the poverty condition. It's too easy to lay up on your big, lazy, and collect welfare and blame everybody else. People get fascinated with negative conditions. I'm going to help you or make you mad. But when I make you mad, that's good, because you'll do something then. If all you do is cuss, that'll be good. At least that stirs you up out of your complacency.